It's good to have you back with us here in College Station and at Davis Diamond. We wrap up opening day. Two sets of Aggies will do it. It is Texas A&M against Utah State. We bring you into the broadcast booth. Will Johnson, Tori Vidalis with you, and both of these Aggies already have wins on this opening day.
Yeah, it's going to be a little confusing. Hang in there with us. Both Aggies, both got a win today, both showing off run rule victories. Both Aggies finding a good start here to opening day, looking to do it again here in the second game of the day.
And they both beat Abilene Christian earlier, and we're going to show you how the Texas A&M Aggies did it in that run-ruled fashion. Some power still in that Texas A&M lineup, Tori.
Yeah, and how about from the newcomers, Paisley Allen with some sneaky power as described, and then we had Michaela Work, the big bomber, and then, of course, we can't have a home run montage without Maya Perez going deep for her first one of the year. It took the Aggies a little bit to get going, but they got there eventually, came away with the run rule win.
Yeah, you could kind of say the same thing about Utah State. When they started things off today early against Abilene Christian, they were in a tight one, but they broke it open late. And both Utah State and Texas A&M beat ACU by identical 8-0 scores, both in 6 innings. And Kaylee Erickson was really good in that opening game against ACU, in which she had 3 hits. Oh, A&M, they threw Sydney Lessentine earlier in the win over ACU. She was brilliant. They go to a different Sydney this time, and it's Sydney Peters, the junior.
Yeah, Sydney squared tonight, huh? Sydney Peters this go-around. Sydney Peters didn't see a lot of innings last year, but it's going to be an arm that the Aggies rely heavily on this season. She's a very high spin rate type pitcher, which means you're going to see a lot of movement on her balls, a lot of mishits. But for me, it's the curve rise with that changeup. When that changeup is on, that spin rate is getting going. You will see that ball fall off the table. You will see it jump up high in the zone for a rise ball. She's just got such dynamic movement. She can beat you in a lot of different ways. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of season she puts together this year.
So this is the final game of day one of the Aggie Classic. It's Texas A&M hosting their own tournament this weekend to get 2026 started. 3 games today. This is the last of them. We will be back here tomorrow with 4 games, and there's 5 games here at College Station on Saturday. Keely Goucher will lead things off for Utah State, playing out of the Mountain West Conference.
I wonder if she gets a lot of Bobby Boucher references. I can't help it. It's just right there. It's a layup for me.
She transferred from one Mountain West school to the other. She was at Boise State last year. So Goucher, a shortstop at Boise State, comes to Utah State, plays second base, leading off here. Sydney Peters, they're underway in the nightcap. High, swing and a miss, strike 1. Peters battled injury last year. The key is that she's healthy in 2026, but when she did pitch, there's some really good numbers in there. Check swing did not quite go around as they appealed down to third base.
Yeah, looking back to last year, Peters was one of those arms that I think Tricia Ford expected to see to complement Emily Kennedy in the hard from the left. Sydney Peters more spinny, right-handed, high spin rate. You're talking about into the 2000s, right? If you see a pitcher that's anywhere from like 15 to about 1800, that is elite spin. And then you see a Sydney Peters who can get up somewhere in the 2000s, 2100 spin rate. If that goes to show, gives you a good example of how much that ball is rotating and what gives it that good break by the time it gets to the plate.
She proved how effective she could be when she got her chances, although those injuries cost her a few opportunities. She was 7-0 a season ago with a 1.75 ERA. know Tricia Ford, the Aggies head coach, is the pitching guru, had to love that Peters. The strikeout to walk ratio is pretty incredible. 43 Ks against just 10 walks. I know any head coach or pitching coaches loves it when you can get upwards of 4-1 on the strikeout to walk ratio. And she's got a strikeout to start this evening. Goucher battled with her for a bit, but she got her looking.
Yeah, Peters, you can see just how much spin she's putting on that ball. You can almost see the seams and the revolutions on that ball. I almost think that was supposed to be a changeup that just she didn't quite get over the top of it. You saw it kind of rise a little bit there at the end. I need to see another one just to compare.
For Peters last year, that sample size, it was 11 appearances and 6 starts. Hard cut by Grace Matei. Came up empty. Matei's a good one. Utah State will rely on her this year. Twice. She's been an all Mountain West Conference player. And preseason, same thing, all Mountain West prior to this year. Hit .327 a year ago, did Matei.
She's listed as the DH today, but is a catcher by trade. Also someone that controls the pace of the infield. Really has to work hard with that battery. I feel like catchers just always have a different understanding of the game, whether that be behind the dish or stepping into the box. Gives you a different appreciation for sequences.
And you're so involved in everything. Peters had her down in the count, but a upstairs pitch right there. And it's full as Utah State looks for a base runner in the top of the first. Not gonna get a base runner. Swing and a miss. Peters, Sydney Peters has a couple of strikeouts to start.
Yeah, tries to get Matei to chase on that rise ball the pitch prior and then just brings it right back through the zone. Matei was ready for the speed, but not quite the spin, just underneath that one.
Kate Vance, foul ball on the first pitch, quickly down to the count, 0-1. Vance transferred from Arizona and has hit this foul and out of play over the A&M dugout. Vance was a really highly recruited player out of high school. In fact, in the 2024 class, some outlets ranked her as the number 6 player in the country and committed to Arizona, obviously a very proud program. Now has transferred to Utah State. That's fouled away. Stick with the 2-strike count.
Yeah, what a huge get for Utah State Aggies. Had a trio of senior infielders graduate, and so they lose that experience. But when we talked to the coaches before this, they mentioned, you know, we did have some talent leave, but we've also got really good talent coming in. They may not be quite as experienced, but they've got the talent, and I know that they can get there eventually. It might take them a little bit longer, but they definitely have got the talent to play up there with those top teams.
Two of those talents hitting here in the top of the first inning, and Goucher and Vance. But Sydney Peters, a dominant top of one. She strikes out all 3 to come to the plate.
We talked about that high spin rate, the changeup right through the zone, but how about some Ched through the zone? And then we're gonna take it up. Sydney Peters.
Free State's got a senior from Vegas in the circle. Right-hander Riley Pindell.
Yeah, Pindell, one of the better arms for Utah State last year. 12 games, 99 innings pitched, just shy of 100. You can tell how much they relied on her. And what I thought was really interesting, when we talked to Coach Todd Judge, he said, don't let it fool you. She may have a 5 ERA, but where they play, the ball flies, right? So if you've got a 4.5 to 5 ERA in that league, it's actually pretty good because of that elevation and how far that ball can go.
Yeah, in the Mountain West Conference, it's called that for a reason. I mean, you can play in Logan, Utah, or Boise, Idaho, or Reno, Nevada, and those are all tough places to pitch in, and particularly Logan, Utah is as well. The Aggies, really no change to the lineup from the first game. Michaela Wark will clean up, Kennedy Powell leading it off. Perez, Wark, they had home runs, so did Paisley Allen.
Yeah, you saw Michaela Wark there just trying to focus in, really taking her deep breaths. She's sitting, which I always think is a big tell when someone's really locked in, trying to almost distance themselves from everybody else who's not up to bat, right? You got to handle your business. I think the umpire's getting a little clarification on count there.
Goes foul to the coach's box at third base, right past Jeff Harger coaching over there. And he's assistant coach to Tricia Ford. So Kennedy Powell, when she gets on, she's a threat to run. She stole a base earlier today. It's 26 stolen base attempts consecutively in which she has not been thrown out. She gets on, look out. Last year, she scored a school record 63 runs, and she hit 339.
Yeah, if I'm up to bat, I want Kennedy Powell on the bases. I know she can run. She's very instinctive as well. Anything that reaches the grass, she's taken to.
She's making Riley Pendell work right away. Pendell went 10-4. That was her record in the circle a season ago. So full count now. Pendell and Powell, they've taken this fight the distance. Who wins? It goes to Powell. She draws a walk, and a speedy threat is on base right away.
What a big time at bat from Kennedy Powell. I think you see her experience in that leadoff position, even just from game 1 to game 2. Right, we saw the Aggies start to press a little bit at that beginning. They did score runs, but it wasn't the big explosive type innings that they're used to having. And now you look at the first hitter of this game, Kennedy Powell, working that count. I was counting the pitches. It was a 9-pitch at bat. That's exactly what you want from your leadoff hitter. See as many pitches as possible. This 2-hitter a good look.
Here she goes,
and
another stolen base. She may take third. She did this earlier today, and she's done it again. Stolen base, throw gets into center field, and she takes third.
And that's why I would like her on the bases when I'm hitting, because she can get a free one by herself just on her speed, puts herself into scoring position, sees that ball passed, and then gets herself another 60 feet closer to home.
So it's 27 stolen base attempts in a row without being caught. A&M with a threat to score right away. Bottom of the first, runner on third, nobody out. 1-1 to Ariel Kowalewski. Fouled that away. Kowalewski, the Florida transfer. Went to Gainesville and helped Florida right away. Started 56 games as a freshman. How talented are you if you can step into that program in your first year and play in 56 games and hit 308?
And at the hot corner.
Yeah.
Not to mention. Played right next to Skylar Wallace that year as well. That team had a lot of big bats, a lot of good talent. Went on a run.
We talked about it during the first game. She had to sit out a while due to some transfer rules within the conference from one SEC school to another. And really didn't get going fully with the Aggies until preseason camp in January. Inside pitch, and you go full again. Full count to Powell earlier, walked her. Full count here to Kowalewski. Aggies are making Pennell work. That's well struck into right field, base hit. A&M 1-0. Will take the lead. Kowalewski drives in Powell.
Kennedy Powell puts herself in scoring position, and AK, as they call her, Kowalewski, she gets it done. And I love that take that she had right before that pitch that she just got the hit on. That was a drop ball down and in. As a hitter that's inexperienced, you could see that pitch and chase it, knowing like, I could maybe get a barrel on that and then roll it over to the first base side, right? But she takes that pitch. That was an impressive take to get the pitch that she really wanted. One a little bit more up in the zone, one that's a little bit more drivable. She gets it out to the grass, and Kennedy Powell is going to score easily. It's textbook from your leadoff. A walk, steal 2 bases, and your 2-hole just puts a little single together.
And they make you work that hard, and now you have to face Maya Perez. And Maya Perez has driven this deep into the gap, and it's her second home run of opening day. 2-run shot, 3-0 Aggies.
Maya Perez didn't skip a beat. Kozyard in the last game, this pitch just right over the heart of the plate, at her belt. Like, this is probably the only spot you wouldn't want to give to Maya Perez. She gets those hands extended. There's no doubt about it that one's gone off the bat. Get the bubbles going and the howdy hat.
And an immediate pitching change for Utah State. Aggies out to a 3-0 lead. That's the home-standing A&M Aggies up early. She had 73 RBIs last year, a school record here at A&M, and on opening day of 2026, 4 RBIs already. 2 earlier against ACU and 2 here in the first inning against Utah State. Perez, the 2-run homer, and that chases the Utah State starter, Riley Pindell, and it's Jordan Lish in the circle now for USU.
Yeah, Lish coming from the other side, a little lefty. Talked to Coach Todd Judge. He said she's got almost like a lefty cutter. It's got really late break. It beats up righties, but it doesn't do well to lefties. And A&M is so evenly spread. They've got lefties, they've got righties, they've got power lefties, and they've got speedy lefties. So interesting to see how these matchups work. Righties versus lefties.
Kayla Wark with a ground ball to Kate Vance, thrown out, first out of the inning. So Lish comes in trying to calm things down. Does exactly what you want, get the first hitter. Quite the start for A&M here in this bottom of the first. It was a walk to Powell. It was an RBI single from Kowalewski after Powell had stolen second base, and then you got the Maya Perez homer. 3-0 A&M, KK Dement at the plate.
Two solid takes. That's that pitch, I think, that beats up righties. It's in, so Lish is trying to wrap it around the hip and get it to cut into the righties. Makes it really hard to get that barrel out. KK Dement, she's got really good plate discipline. I think that's what she does well, is she knows her approach. She knows what she's hunting. So to me, it seems like she may be hunting something on the outer half, the way she spit on 2 of those inner pitches.
Too far inside. 4-pitch walk to KK Dement.
Yeah, I thought that was a quality pitch from Lish. Again, that lefty, if you can get really crafty with it, the placement is really what is going to help you shine in these situations. But I think that last one could have been a strike. It would have been a pitcher's pitch.
Talon Edwards at the plate. She had a couple of hits in her A&M debut. And that win over Abilene Christian. Oklahoma State transfer. Going opposite field toward the gap. Shallow left center coming on. Faith Craning, Utah State center fielder, will make the catch. Maddie Sawney, the freshman from Hawaii. Aggies are excited to have her in this program and in this lineup. Earlier, she went 0 for 3, but I thought she had 3 well-struck balls, none of them which fell for a hit.
Yeah, it's easy to get in the mindset, too, of like, man, I didn't get a hit. Like, I'm 0 for on the day, but like you mentioned, all 3 of them were very well hit. And I think as a hitter, you have to be able to take those little wins, right? Did I swing at the right pitch? Did I get a barrel? Did I just miss a home run, right? Those are the things that matter as you move forward, because at that point, you can't get the AB back, right? You just got to keep moving. But what can I take? What did I do well? Like if I can check off a list, did I swing at a strike? Was I on time? Did I find a barrel? Most of the time, things will get better.
This one bounced on the infield. She's thrown out, and that will end the inning, but it's a 3-run first frame for the Aggies, and it's the 2nd home run of opening day for Maya Perez.
Maya Perez doesn't skip a beat. Gets one out, this time in the 1st inning. Maya Perez with the howdy hat.
Friends, everybody gunning for Oklahoma City again in 2026. Texas A&M at number 6 prior to this season in the strongest league in the country.
It's always amazing to see the preseason polls and then how everything ends up shaking out. But I look at this, you see the national champions, reigning national champions at number 1, Oklahoma, won 4 national championships before that. So to me, what sticks out is the culture of these programs. They may not always have the most highly recruited, talented players or people that are being talked about all the time, but they're going to find a way to win. And you see that year after year with the preseason polls.
Now this is opening day for A&M. They'll open SEC play on March 13th with a series at LSU in Baton Rouge. The first time A&M is at home in SEC play. That'll be a March 20th through 22nd series when they host Kentucky. And A&M will have a rivalry series this year, late in March at Texas, and they will bring in the Oklahoma Sooners for the final SEC series here at Davis Dime.
Yeah, that Oklahoma series is nationally televised too. All 3 games, so you know it's going to be a good matchup. Of course, if you're a Texas A&M fan, you love seeing the maroon and white playing that burnt orange team down the road in Austin.
They didn't. Texas joined the league and they didn't get a series.
Yeah, they didn't play last year. It's just the mix-up. Ooh, that one catches Sawney.
Yeah, she's going to need a moment.
That's the one bad thing about really spinny pitchers. is a lot of times the catchers get beat up because the hitters will just nick a change-up or a drop ball or whatever it is, and catchers really take the brunt of it. You see it here.
Right off the foot, it may be where there was no padding.
Pratt just caught enough of that one, but
And that's when you get the umpire courtesy. They'll walk around,
That's right.
they'll wipe the plate down, they'll go talk to the pitcher. They're going to give you that time. That's another strikeout for Sydney Peters. She's dialing them up. She's faced 4 and struck out 4. That was Kaya Pratt that went down.
yeah, Sawney didn't need that much time to get back into form. Catching it and throwing it back down.
Yeah,
Sydney Peters, she's flexing right now.
There's Kaylee Erickson at the plate. She was brilliant in the win over ACU earlier today to get us started on this opening day. That's inside, and she's hit by a pitch.
Yeah, Peters going upstairs, trying to get it tight to those hands. Just catches her on the elbow guard.
So Erickson had 3 hits earlier today and is hit by a pitch to start her nightcap.
I like that she didn't jump out of the way immediately, though. I like when a hitter stays in there and holds their ground. Like, nah, this is my plate. You got to throw to me.
Don't flinch.
Yeah,
don't back
flinch.
down.
If you want to give me a free base, I'll take it. It's a gifting here. Just go ahead and give me second, too.
And I'll stand here and take it like it's not a problem.
That's right.
So Alex Bunton at the plate with Erickson at first base. Utah State trying to scratch back after A&M put up a 3 spot in the bottom of 1. Peters had carved up the first 4 hitters, striking all of them out. Then the hit by pitch to Erickson and a 1-2 count to Bunton. Fouled away. Looks like that'll get out of play. Aggies giving it a look over there, but it does get out of play. Kowalewski and Talon Edwards covered some ground trying to get it in case it stayed in play.
There's a lot of foul territory here at Davis to make a play. Whether you're a corner infielder, corner outfielder, can't give up on those plays. You never know, they might find their way back into the field.
You think more foul ground than most parks you've been to?
I would say yes.
Maybe a little excess here.
It feels a little big. You know, I had the opportunity to play at Love's Field, Oklahoma's field this past summer, and they didn't have near that room.
Well, that stays in fair territory, and that's down the line and left. Little bit of a bobble and left, and Utah State's going to get a run out of this. Erickson's coming home. Bunton blistered that down the line. Gets an RBI with it, although we'll see how they score what happened out in left field. But it's a run home, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, this one's just a shot. Bunton's able to get her hips cleared and get that barrel through the zone. You see the shift. Paisley Allen was playing a little bit over, more in the gap. And that play really, truly relies on Kennedy Powell being able to get a glove on that. And after the play, you see her kind of touching her chest like, that's my bad. She knew that she needed to make that catch. Obviously, it would have been a phenomenal catch. But because there was no one behind her, she had to make that, or else Erickson can go first to home, just like she did. So I think that's why you see KP over here taking a little bit of accountability for not making that catch, even though it would have been like a top 10 play. That was a shot.
The hard liner. So 3-1. Still an opportunity for Utah State with Jasmine Ramirez at the plate. So Peters had been cruising along, and then a hit batter and a double. Tricia Ford, Aggies head coach and pitching coach, coming out of the dugout, is going to step into the circle for a word. 4th year at A&M. Had this team 48-11 last year and the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament before they stumbled in the regional. And she's wearing a smile right now, I think possibly just trying to calm Sydney Peters down after the last 2 hitters haven't gone her way.
I mean, she's only faced 6 hitters and struck 4 of them out, so you can't be too upset with those
Not
results.
all bad, is it? Yeah.
I think just a reminder, hey, a lot of game left. Like, let's just focus on the outs here. We know we can put up some runs. Let's just take a deep breath. Sometimes it's just about the reset rather than actually like coaching them in terms of do this or do X, Y, and Z.
Nice play there by Kennedy Powell. That was a sharply struck ground ball, and there's 2 outs now.
Okay, smooth over there at third base. Kennedy Powell making up for that last one she felt like she should have made. Swift little backhand with a strong throw. Keeps Alex Button over there at second base. It's a big out.
Kenzie Olson at the plate. So earlier this inning, the double by Alex Bunton, it scores Erickson. Bunton will get an RBI. I was wondering if possibly a slight bobble in left field would cost her that RBI. I didn't think it factored in that much, and it is confirmed. It's a straight double with an RBI for Alex Bunton when she drove in Kaylee Erickson. Quickly an 0-2 count to Kenzie Olson. Peters trying to get back on top and get out of this inning. Utah State this inning, they pulled a few pretty hard. That one goes foul off the bat of Kenzie Olson.
Yeah, I think they've realized they need to get on top of that rise ball. So a lot of times when you think getting on top, it makes that barrel get out a little bit earlier. Might be why they're pulling some of those balls, but they might have trouble on the outer half if they keep that same mentality. I love that we're seeing an adjustment this early, though. All right, we're only in the 2nd inning. The 5th hitter, Kaylee Erickson, gets something going by hit by pitch, and then how about Alex Bunton making the adjustment?
If that stays fair, maybe another run, but it does hook foul, not by a whole lot. Working that left field line, that third base line too.
They are. I think it's because Peters feels like she's throwing firm. Because her ball spins so much, it gives the illusion that it's really overwhelming in terms of speed. So you feel like as a hitter, you have to get your hands out, which really, you're just wasting a lot of pitches.
That's going to be tough. That'll land in shallow center field. Throw coming home, not quite in time. It's another run for Utah State. It's Bunton scoring on the base hit by Olson. It's 3-2.
Utah State finding a way. They are fighting against Sydney Peters. Peters throwing quality pitches, but consistently just finding a way. It doesn't have to necessarily be barreled up. It just has to be in the right spot. And Olson just dropping it in probably the most perfect spot on the field, making Vrajul have to come in.
Texas A&M is challenging that the lady left early at second base. That play is under review.
Well, the Aggies will take their shot at a challenge because if they win it, it'll wipe out a Utah State run. So they're asking, did Bunton leave before the pitch? Did she get off base before the pitch? It's a Tricia Ford challenge.
must have seen something in the dugout. I don't know if they would waste, I shouldn't say waste, I don't know if they would challenge this early on something that they maybe knew wasn't for sure. I know a lot of programs will have in the dugout one coach specified to each base. Oh yeah, they got her, let's go. To me, this gives one person in that dugout is locked in on the runner, right, at each base. You all have your own base, and the moment they saw that, they say, hey, Coach Ford, like she left early at second. So no matter what happens in this play, it doesn't matter. She'll be called out.
What a better time to go after it. Wipe a run out.
Yeah, cut some of the momentum too. You see Utah State really trying to fight their way back into this after a big inning. You love the response. I mean, A&M goes in the first, bottom of the first, and puts up 3. And Utah State immediately comes back, puts up 2. And you got to credit Erickson and Bunton, regardless of how this play ends up. But Erickson standing her ground in the box, getting hit by that pitch on that rise ball in the inner half, taking that free base, and then Bunton really making them pay. That double down the left field line. Really the first hard hit ball we've seen off of Peters. Mind you, the previous 4 struck out.
Right away, 4 Ks. And then Utah State crept back into this one, but this could take a run off the board and end the inning.
Yeah, I think this call will be changed. Remember, you can't leave the base, so that foot cannot come off of the base until the pitcher has released the ball. Doesn't matter if it's 2 millimeters or 2 inches, right? They're both off early. There's not a lot of wiggle room for this rule. We'll see if it gets changed.
We have a verdict.
After review, the call is changed. You'll run the bid leave early. Texas A&M retains their challenge.
Instead of 3-2, Utah State within a run, it's 3-1 A&M, and that ends the inning. A heads-up move, a savvy move by the A&M Aggies, and it cost Utah State a run.
Yeah, just leaving the base early erases a run for Utah State, and also A&M gets to keep their challenge.
They deemed that Alex Bunton left early. It wipes out a base hit by Kenzie Olson, a hit that scored Bunton. Would have been 3-2. Instead, it's 3-1. We go to the bottom of the second. Paisley Allen leading off for A&M. But
Yeah.
that's part of things. I mean, you've got staff members in there looking for that. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's almost everybody has a role, don't they?
Hey, good leaders delegate.
Yeah.
And when you delegate, you got to trust that that person is doing their job to the best of their ability. And I think that right there gives you some confidence, knowing that whoever you gave that job to just came through in the clutch. And I guarantee you they're still talking about it right now. They've been like, yeah, we're glad we challenged that. But important to note, A&M wins that challenge. In the past, you lose your challenge no matter what, right, if you challenge it. But a new rule in 2026, you get to retain your challenge if the call on the field is changed.
Yeah, that's one of the new rules. Now, what you just saw there was base running, dealt with base running, leaving early. New rule also in place is that at first we play with a double base now. 1 in fair territory, 1 in foul territory. 2-2 to Paisley Allen, swinging ground ball. Sharply hit. A nice play by Keely Goucher.
Yeah, great backhand there. Paisley Allen going with an outside pitch, but how about a little athleticism? Goucher, she's got a little swag to her, goes down on the one knee. Quick throw over to that first base double bag that we were talking about.
There's Frankie Vragel. So with the double base down the line at first, the runner on a batted ball in play has to go for that base, that colored base on the outside.
Yep,
The defender,
orange.
the first baseman, they have to play on the white base on the inside in fair territory.
And as a first baseman, we are thankful. Thank you so much for adding this. I think it was long overdue to have 2 bases.
Foot or ankle, you're not going to get stepped on if they're going for a separate base over
I
there.
agree. Well, while I do think that correct technique avoids most situations that could put you in collision territory, i.e. keeping your foot on the edge of the base instead of right on top where you see all of the dirt collecting, that is how you get injured. And then you add bad technique with base running, intense plays, just becomes very crowded at one base. So I am so happy for not just me, but for a lot of different people in college softball. Now we can avoid collisions, we can avoid the congestion over there at first base, but also it brings in a little bit of a new set of rules, right? Once you touch that base, so Frankie Vrajel just got hit by the pitch, she runs through first base. When she touches the orange base to go past it, now it becomes dead. Now you must come back and step on that white base. And if the first baseman still has that ball and you're touching the orange base, you can get called out. So it's very important to make sure that you're on it. You see Frankie Vragel's foot is on the white base. If she was on that orange base, Ramirez at first base, if she had that ball, would be able to tag her out.
Base hit. Kennedy Powell, she's been on base twice tonight. Aggies with 1 out. Texas A&M Aggies 1 out and 2 on. Yeah, so essentially the double base is in place for safety on a ground ball to the infield. That's the bulk of the usage of it. But there's variations like you were talking about. For instance, when Powell hits that through the infield, base hit, if she wanted to churn for second base on what is already a base hit, she could use the white base.
Yes.
And then make her way to second. It's basically on ground balls on the infield. You're trying to protect the first baseman and the runner. But the variations of the rule, I would say, could come into play in other situations. Ariel Kowalewski's at the plate, RBI single back in the first inning. Line drive, could be 2. Not quite. Pretty well hit, and they almost got Vrajel off second base. Maya Perez coming to the plate and already having an opening day.
Yeah, game 1, high fly ball to the deepest part of the field, gets the howdy hat. And then how about game 2? Starting it off, this time poolside homer, a little bit elevated in the zone. How about 2 howdy hat try-ons today?
Oh, a pick back. Almost in time. Not quite. So the throw to second base. Vrajel back just in time.
Now what a laser from Erickson behind the dish. Then Goucher, good coverage there at second base. I will say second base.
Utah State is challenging the call of safe at second base. Play is under review.
Well, second base, the focal point of another
Second
challenge.
base is such an underrated position because of how quick you have to move. And not only just to one base. Like, you have to cover first base, you have to cover second base, you have to cover on the pitch, right? You have to cover on the bunt. So there's so many places that you could be needed. So to see a second baseman, I think that plays with just a lot of, like, Coach Evans always used to call it moxie, a little bit of moxie, swag. But to get back and be in this position is huge. I do think that Vrajel got the arm in. It's kind of tough to tell. You can see her white batting glove, white and maroon, sneak in there, but what a throw by Erickson. She has just been really a star all weekend for this Utah State team.
Nearly got her, but I feel like the call will be upheld. This is what your umpiring crew is seeing when they review right here. Good looks at it.
Great looks.
I think this is going to be upheld as a safe call at second base. mistakes.
I think so too, and only because they don't have enough evidence to overturn it. It looks like it's so bang bang right at the same time. Like, look at her position right here. Goucher, like, perfectly straddling the base, like in a tag position. I just can't say enough good things about getting yourself to the right spot. And you got to be ready for a play like that, right? You can't just like whip that one out. I feel like they must have had a sign or some type of call towards each other to know that that was coming. And if they didn't, hats off, because that connection must be out of this world for a play like that to develop so seamlessly.
And the result is Utah State trying to return the favor to A&M. They're saying, hey, you took one of ours off second base. We're going to try to take one of yours too.
You could tell how like bang bang it was too. Coach Todd Judge jumped up out of the dugout, was immediately like ready to challenge it.
But already a crucial challenge in this game that Tricia Ford won earlier. Great look right here with the Hawkeye system.
I mean,
All part of the video review.
The position, the eyes right behind the ball. She lets the ball come to her instead of going to get that ball.
Very close, but I just think it's got to be upheld.
Yeah, I think you can see a little bit of space. Right. Go forward just a little bit, right. There is where her hand touches, and it's almost bang, bang, frame after frame.
After review, the call on the field stands. We have safe. That's Utah State's first challenge.
So
Two
Coach
for two, Will.
Todd Judge loses his. Tricia Ford won hers. Isn't that a little bit of the chess match between coaches? You know, those
Absolutely.
challenges, when to use them, when to roll that dice. Nicely hit into left field, but that is caught by Kenzie Olson, and that will end the inning. The Aggies strand a couple. Texas A&M leads 3-1. 3-1 as we go to the third inning. During the break, Todd Judge had his team out there huddled up. I mean, they're fighting early, put the 11th ranked team in the country, and it's been a crucial play in this game. It could be 3-2, but a runner that scored for Utah State was deemed to have left early after a challenge, so she was wiped off the base paths, took a run off as well. But Todd Judge building this Utah State program, third season there, 26 wins last year. I mean, everything was 500. Overall, 26-26, Mountain West Conference, 11-11. But the 26 wins is actually, if you look at their recent history, that's almost the most wins they've had in a long time up there in Logan, Utah.
Yeah, it was the third most wins ever in program history. And I think what's really cool is we talked to him last year too. Utah State came and played in the Aggie Classic the first weekend. And when we talked to him, he said, we're trying to increase the amount of balls we get out of the yard, right? He talked a lot about wanting to be more athletic, wanted to be more disciplined. Last year, they broke 11 school records, offensive categories. 11. Hits, pretty much anything you could name.
Yeah.
Batting average, hits, runs, doubles, home runs, runs batted in, total bases, slugging percentage. Like, it just kept going. When I was looking up these numbers, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what exactly is your team offensively doing to have these jumps in numbers? Is it technology? Is it just old school knowing your body? And he said that's exactly what it is. It's a lot of old school, no technology, just swinging. He said, my girls, they need to get 200 swings a day, minimum. And those 200 swings a day were able to produce all of these numbers. Every single one of these were program records. He said, if you can swing 200 times a day, I guarantee you even the worst hitter could find a barrel after just knowing your swing.
And some of that was not just surpassing those old school records. I mean, they smashed some of them. That home run count, 66 last year. The old record was 50. I mean, they blew by that even before late season. Faith Craning hitting 9th for Utah State. Top of the order is next.
Those home runs, 39 and 24, 66 last year. And I thought what really stuck out when I was talking to him about hitting is, you know, he teaches a lot about approach and the mindset, like what's going on in your brain. Because a lot of times young hitters don't get taught approach. It's just see ball, hit ball because you were the best player in your hometown or maybe your select team. But when you get to college, the pitchers are a lot better. The balls move more. They're coming at you harder. You have to make hitting a little bit easier by, you know, picking a pitch or splitting the plate in half. And he even mentioned Kate Vance as Sydney Peters records another strikeout.
Dealing again. That's her 6th strikeout the first time through the lineup.
But Kate Vance, the shortstop for Utah State, she said, wow, this is so much easier, even in BP, when all they were doing was splitting the plate in half, like, hey, you're only going to swing it inside, or hey, you're only going to swing it outside. She was overcome by how much easier it was. And then he's trying to get that point through to them of, like, split the plate in half, pick a pitch, and then see your success. And I think the numbers directly showed that process and them learning as they go throughout the season and hopefully into this season as well.
Yeah, we've told you that all the teams playing here today, ACU, Utah State, A&M, there's connections between all 3 of them. And Todd Judge, he's connected pretty well with Tricia Ford, the A&M head coach. They've known each other for a long time. When Todd Judge goes back to the select ball days, and he's coached out west. Tricia Ford, before coming to A&M, she coached out west as well. They've run into each other quite a bit, and they've known each other for a long time. Good friends, Todd Judge and Tricia Ford.
Yeah, a lot of his he had a couple players from his club ball team that he sent to ASU whenever Ford was coaching at Arizona State. So very long-standing relationship. He actually said that they had some issues with their scheduling. I wasn't sure. I didn't catch if it was this year or last year.
They didn't have an opening tournament for a while, but he knew he could pick up the phone and call Tricia Ford, and he could get into that Aggie Classic down in College Station because of their relationship, really. And she got him down here, his team down here, found him some games to play to get the season started.
Yeah, he said within 15 minutes of me making the call, she's calling me back and we got games on the schedule. I think it goes to show that the relationships do matter in this game, and how cool for it to come to fruition and for Utah State to get to come out and play at Davis Diamond again.
In the 3rd inning, Utah State in it with the Texas A&M Aggies. Keely Goucher trying to keep this inning alive. 2 out, nobody on. Goucher hanging in with 2 strikes. Missed outside, 2-2. Outside and up. Sydney Peters been pretty dominant, except for a bit of a hiccup, a double an inning ago by Alex Bunton that scored a run. And there's a swing and a miss, and it's the 7th strikeout dialed up by Sydney Peters. 2nd inning already in which she has struck out the side. Michaela Warwick will lead it off for the Aggies in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And her first game in the maroon and white after transferring from Oklahoma State. Tori, I'd say it went pretty well at the plate.
I will agree with you, Will. I think anytime you can get an Oppo Taco home run, and for the first one of your Aggie career, it's well deserving of the Howdy hat.
And she's swinging away to start the 3rd, and Michaela Warwick has gone yard again. 2nd home run of her first day as an Aggie.
feel like the fans here at Davis Diamond are going to really enjoy this lineup and all the bubbles floating throughout this season, because with the pop of Maya Perez and Michaela Wark back to back, Michaela Wark, look at the control of that lower half, just rides out on that back half and just smashes this ball. You see that 220 right at the top of the fence. Michaela Wark said, no problem. I love that you see her lead off with a home run right before her at bat. She was talking to Coach Harger, and I could see him demonstrating, like, get your barrel right here, like this is exactly where it needs to be. And you could see her mind working as she walks up to the plate. And it was like she just knew exactly what she had to do. And what's so cool is hearing Coach Harger talk about her. He said the last 2 weeks she has really just taken off. She's really starting to understand her swing, what it is they're trying to teach, the control of that lower half. And you see that from all of these players. They're getting very well loaded in their backside and riding that out. I think the last few years, you've kind of seen them get better and better as they've gone on. And there are certain hitters that just pick it up really well. I think KK Demet is one of those as well. She has really elite lower half control. And that's why you see her have so much success, because if your lower half is on time, you're gonna be on time for a lot of pitches and see a lot of success.
Ground out here by KK Demet. This is what you were discussing. That's between innings before she led off this frame.
You have to catch it. He said you have to catch it out in front, and then look where she catches this ball. Out in front. She gets her barrel out in front of the zone, in front of the plate. An absolute no-doubter off the barrel.
So is Jeff Harger gonna try to take credit for that one?
You think you should try to be a hitting coach?
He hasn't tried, he's succeeded. He's as good as they get. Talon Edwards. 1-1 count to her right now.
It was a dirty back door.
Kind of had her scooting out.
It looked like a lefty curveball, so a lefty backdoor to a lefty means that it's going to be inside and almost wrap back. So it's going to start as a ball on the inner half and then wrap back around to the plate and catch the back half for a strike. And the fact that Lish just went back to back in that spot. She's chasing her, she's trying to get her to chase out, and then she's going to go right back to that pitch again. Talon Edwards, she's got to be balanced, got to be able to get that barrel out in front. Tight rotation, because it's coming. Can't help but think that one's a missed opportunity for Lish. She could have hit it again. It would have been a really good battle. Of course, now it continues, chess match.
Talon Edwards. She struck some balls well today. That one's all the way to the wall, and she has a double. Some exit velocity coming from Talon Edwards' bat on this first day of the season.
And that's why I say that inner half pitch was a miss, because you have to go back outside in that situation. And Talon Edwards knew that. She was expecting that pitch on the outer half and stays with it and just lasers it into left center. But I can't help but wonder what would have happened if Lish would have stuck with that inner half. She painted 2 for the first 2 strikes, goes back outside, and then misses that one pitch that forces her to go outside, and Talon Edwards ends up with a double.
So 4-1 Texas A&M, and they're looking for more pitching change coming up. Danae Smith is already the 3rd pitcher for Utah State in this one. They started Riley Pindell. She didn't get an out in 3 batters. Then Jordan Lish just threw 2 1/3, and now it's on to Danae Smith, who once was in the Texas A&M Corpus Christi program, system school here at A&M.
Got 3 innings, 3 pitchers. Honestly, not a bad idea for an offense that is as potent as A&M, it's not a bad idea to keep giving them new looks. Just one pitcher every inning. Try to slow down that momentum a little bit, not ever give them time to catch up to what's happening or sequencing patterns, or maybe there's a pitch that they're seeing really well. Just throwing something new into the mix, seeing how well they can adjust. So far, they've done it pretty well, but we'll see if they can continue doing that into the third.
It's the freshman Maddie Sowney at the plate. Sowney a ground out to the shortstop back in the first inning. Hits it that way again. Same result. 6-3 on a one hopper there. Paisley Allen. Seeing if she can strike something up with 2 outs, and may have just done it. Coming around third base, play at the plate. No, it's cut off, and now they've got Allen and a rundown. The Aggies will get a run out of this, and Allen is safe back at first base. She drives in Edwards, and Texas A&M ups the lead to 5-1.
You have to love a 2-out ribby, but good defensive choice for Bunton to cut that ball over at third to prevent Paisley Allen from getting into scoring position. She almost got caught there, but using her speed to her advantage, able to slip right back into first base.
With Allen on first base still, Frankie Vraja will hit. And she was hit by a pitch earlier.
So change piece, keep them off balance every time. Just gotta be able to know when to throw it. Can't throw it too much, can't throw it too little. It's gotta be the perfect amount.
Texas A&M up to 6 hits now early in this one. They're coming off a 14-hit game in the win over ACU. So it's 20 hits for A&M and barely more than 8 innings on this opening day. The lineup's going to be tough to deal with all season long. Two hops out toward Keely Goucher, and that will end the inning. But the Aggies put 2 more on the board, and with the help of another Michaela Wark homer.
Michaela Wark, all you gotta tell her is get your barrel out. 2 games, 2 home runs as an Aggie. Welcome to College Station, and how about that howdy hat?
Sydney Peters flat out dealing. 7 strikeouts already in this game.
Yeah, an up ball pitcher that her presence was missed last year, and I think you can see why by this highlight reel right here. Up ball, high spin rate, just makes that ball jump. She is going to be a vital piece of this A&M staff this year, and if she continues to throw the way that she's throwing tonight, I think you're going to see the Aggies have a very long run in the postseason this year.
It's Grace Matei that will lead off. Sydney Peters struck out the side in the first, struck out the side in the third, also got a K in the second. A&M's going from one Sydney to the other today. Sydney Lessentine started the first game. 5 scoreless innings, only allowed 1 hit. And how about that for efficiency? She threw 65 pitches, 58 of them were strikes in the win over Abilene Christian.
Absurd. absurd.
It's a wow number.
It's funny because I think back to talking to Ford, and she said the thing with Lessentine is she has the pitches, but she has to be able to command them. I think 58 strikes is pretty good command.
It's quite good. That's strong to quite strong. Sydney Lessentine dominated ACU, and now Sydney Peters trying to do the same against Utah State. Trying to get the leadoff hitter, Grace Matei, here in the top of the fourth. 2-strike count. Got her to sky this to left. Paisley Allen coming in, and there is one out.
Peters tends to get a lot of fly ball outs, being that up ball pitcher with a lot of spin. Anytime you see a pitcher that has really good true spin and they throw like a curve ball or a rise ball, hitters tend to pop those up a little bit more than any other pitch. It's very easy to get underneath them. So as a hitter, you have to really think staying on top of that ball almost is as if you were hitting off of a tee and hitting like just a straight ground ball to second base. That on top of it, because in the game, that curve, that rise will run into that barrel at a little bit different of an angle, but still keeping that same form. So I'm looking for these Utah State hitters try to go, not necessarily away, but I want to see them emphasize getting on top of that ball. I know that they're talking about approaches and what pitch they're sitting on in the dugout, but talking about an approach and accomplishing and staying true to the approach are two different things. And that's usually what separates the good from the great, is the ability to trust the plan, even if maybe the first time or the second time it doesn't work out. But you have to be able to trust the process.
Outside to Kate Vance, so a 2-2 count. Vance struck out swinging in the first inning. One of 7 Ks by Peters. To a full count now, Utah State trying to get a 1-out base runner. Inside pitch, turned on it, well foul. So we'll do the full count pitch all over again. Nice at bat. Nice plate appearance there by Kate Vance, drawing the full count walk.
This is the same situation, almost the same situation that Utah State was in the second inning when Kaylee Erickson got on via hit by pitch. All you need is one duck on the pond for Utah State to get going.
Second inning is when they got their run. They thought they had another one in that frame, but the challenge won by Trisha Ford and A&M wiped a Utah State Aggie run off the board on a runner leaving second base early. So 1 out, 1 on. Kaya Pratt at the plate. 2 of Sydney Peters' strikeouts are looking. One of those is of Pratt back in that second inning. Up high, went for it, a swing and a miss.
Feels like we should be a lot further in the lineup because A&M has been rolling through their lineup so many times and we've seen so many hitters, but this is only Pratt's second AB in the 4th inning.
Oh, that hop late ate up KK Dement, and it bounced into center field. So it's another base runner for Utah State, 2 aboard with 1 out.
And I say her second at bat just as she figures out Sydney Peters and gets a ball on the ground. This is a play that KK Dement, I think, makes 9 out of 10 times. I think she took her eyes off the ball for just a second, trying to take that ball and make the force. You lose that ball for just a split second, it'll eat you up just like it did there.
And it is an E6. First error of the game for A&M. Each team has an error. And Kaylee Erickson, who was terrific in the first Utah State game, it started off this Aggie Classic, comes back to the plate here in a clutch situation against Peters back in the second inning. She was hit by a pitch. Erickson has scored the only run of the game for Utah State. An opportunity knocking with first and second and 1 out.
She's in hack mode right now. She's thinking, I got to do what I can to get this runner that's in scoring position, Kate Vance, out there on second base. I got to find a way to push her across home plate. When you get anxious like that, it's easy to swing at pitches out of the zone.
Was 0-2, now 2-2. Right past her head coach, Todd Judge, over there at third base. Good at bats this inning by Utah State. They're trying to get closer. They're trying to get back in it. Vance had a good at bat, drawing a walk. She's at second base. Pratt hit a ball pretty hard that ended up as an error. She's at first base. Foul ball here. Good at bat by Erickson. She's staying alive with 2 strikes. Who flinches, Peters or Erickson? And here comes another 2-strike offering. That's going to be in play. Foul territory, but in play for Kennedy Powell, and there's 2 outs on the pop-up. So Peters had to fight for it, but gets the better of it. Has a chance to get out of this inning unscathed with 1 more out if she can get Bunton here. Bunton has the only hit of the game for Utah State. RBI double. Hit it well down the left field line. So it's A&M 5 runs, 6 hits. Utah State 1 run on just the 1 hit. And each team has committed an error. Sydney Peters 1-1 to Alex Bunton. Looked off speed. That's a nice pitch.
Good eyes.
And Bunton watched it. So she's down to the count.
Peters does a real good job at selling that pitch. So given a hard push, a real hard acceleration off the mound, and then just spins it. Just like she does there, goes upstairs.
Yep, got the swing and the miss. 8th strikeout, and that's a big one. Strands 2, Utah State Aggies on base.
We've seen the change, but I want the high cheese. Rise ball, sits down Alex Bunton. Aggies are up, 5-1.
Runs in the first inning, and And then A&M got 2 more in the third. In between that, Utah State got their run in the second. 2-run homer by Maya Perez in that first inning. Her second home run of the day. Solo home run by Michaela Wark in the third inning for Texas A&M. For Michaela Wark, also her second home run of the day. College softball starting up down here in College Station. They're doing it with the Aggie Classic. This is the third and final game of opening day. Plenty of action tomorrow and then on into Saturday. Texas A&M will play 1 game tomorrow. That's against Providence. And there's a marquee matchup Saturday evening here at Davis Diamond. Texas A&M against Texas Tech. That's probably the feature matchup of this Aggie Classic that starts the 2026 season. Kennedy Powell leads off. That's kind of popped over the circle, but a nice play. And Kennedy Powell was thrown out.
Yeah, you really get to see Kate Vance show off her athleticism there. Seems like an easy location, but that is probably one of the hardest locations to read because off the bat it looks a lot harder than it is. And it kind of dies. She has to make that throw on the run.
Ariel Kowalewski, RBI single and a line out. Kaylee Erickson behind the dish. Excuse me, Jalen Castillo in for Kaylee Erickson behind the dish. And a base runner with Ariel Kowalewski on base for the second time.
I love that you see the coaching from Russ Heffley there at first base. You see him saying, hey, make sure it's through. If it's through, you can go. Freeze on a line. It's just a reminder that you're never too good for just the reminders. I love to see it throughout all the divisions from select ball now to college. Gonna get a lineup check here. You mentioned that new catcher. Part of me is wondering, did they enter her? I think they did. A&M is just gonna get a pinch runner.
Jalen Castillo in at catcher right now for Utah State. Yes, A&M does go with that pinch runner. Ansley Gross. She pinch ran earlier today in the Aggie win over ACU.
Think she's gonna steal?
Looks like she wants to. Well, didn't read that. She thought that stayed right around the umpire behind home plate, but it got further away. She could have taken second base, but I don't think she recognized how far the ball had gotten away. And as you can see, a mistake on the base paths. Russ Heffley, first base coach, letting her know about it.
I think that's one thing about this coaching staff is if you do mess up, you will hear about it. But that's good. Right, we've gotten so into this new age of like trying to be soft and cater to people's feelings. Like, we're trying to win. Do you want to win or do you want to just be happy all the time and never get better? Yeah. To me, you have to be coached in a way that can get through to those players. I guarantee you she won't forget to go next time. But she ends up on second regardless.
That's how you don't make the mistake again.
Exactly.
With that type of coaching.
Exactly.
So Perez walks, 2 aboard. Here's Michaela Wark. And there'll be a pinch runner for Perez as well. And this is Piper White, the freshman from Alamo, Tennessee, as the pinch runner.
Making her debut in the maroon and white. You got 2 freshmen on the base paths with the graduate slugger in Wark. We've got the ball chant starting. Nothing quite like it.
Not only do you have to face a hitter with 2 home runs today, you got to face this crowd now too, and it's only going to get worse the more you throw out of the zone.
It's in these moments I'm glad I chose hitting.
And at least they're nice enough to give you a hand
a nice little ovation.
when you finally find the strike zone. That's another walk. Bases are loaded with Aggies with 1 out. And KK DeMint coming up, 16 homers last year for number 16. A little bit of dangerous territory here for Danae Smith and Utah State. Got a ground out to begin the inning, but then a hit by Kowalewski, then a walk to Perez, and now a walk to Wark.
Yeah, Wark sharing some information as she's heading back to the dugout as well. Passing along that information.
It's
Making
another
sure-
pinch runner, too.
Yeah, another pinch runner.
Scout Lovell.
The Aggies have speed off the bench. A very undervalued position, I would say. Every team I'm on, I feel like you have to have at least 1, if not 2, speedy runners to really make a difference.
Well, you say that, the Aggies going with 3.
Exactly,
Right
they're
the bases
way
are loaded.
over.
Yeah. They say, I'll see your 2 and up you 1.
I'll raise you 3.
There's bases loaded with pinch runners for the Aggies. And KK DeMint will allow them to just jog on home. You don't need speed when you leave the yard. KK DeMint's first of the season. Grand slam.
I don't think pitchers would choose to go against KK DeMint, but I really don't think they would choose to go against KK DeMint with the bases loaded, and she shows you exactly why. Pitch that just leaks back over onto the plate. Immediately, she knew it. Drops that bat. Enjoy your home run trot. First home run of the year for KK DeMint, and it's a grand slam.
Well, a home run that has 4 RBIs attached to it, and Utah State will go to their 4th pitcher of the night.
Pitcher on the night, Sydney Saldana, after the monster shot by KK DeMint. A grand slam, 4-bagger. She gets the Aggies in run rule territory. Trying to put some more runs up on the board, but we'll see if Saldana can get out of this sticky situation now that the bases are cleared.
So for Utah State against this Texas A&M offense, it's been Pindell, Lish, Smith, and now Saldana. And again, the starter, Pindell, threw to 3 batters, didn't get any of them out, allowed the Maya Perez home run, and was lifted. Texas A&M offense keeps on coming. They do not let up. There's length in the lineup.
Yeah, you don't ever really get to breathe. Just one after the other. Hitters that can make you pay for misses.
Talon Edwards at the plate, trying to start up a new rally. She doubled last time. Talon Edwards is 3 for 4 today, all told. And it's impressive when you were looking at some of the numbers that Edwards put up offensively at Oklahoma State last year. She's known for the glove, I get that, as she did win that Rawlings Gold Glove last year at third base, but it was eye-popping that you looked at her numbers last year at Oklahoma State, and 149 at bats, she only struck out 8 times.
It's very impressive. Anytime a hitter has more walks than strikeouts, I think that's always a plus. But especially when you see hitters that have strikeout numbers in the single digits, that tells me that they have really great plate discipline, tells me they have really good bat-to-ball skills, good decision-making in general. Talon is one of those that has a lot of experience. Mind you, she reclassified. She was supposed to be a senior in high school, but ended up heading to Oklahoma State early as a 17-year-old, and they made the World Series that year. So she's a 17-year-old playing in the World Series with Oklahoma State, was such a vital piece of that team. And she's only gotten better since then. Always want to rely on experience, especially when you have a lot of new faces coming in. Her and Wark have both been that, guiding these younger players like Maddie Sawney, who's up to bat right now. Sharing that information. You always see information shared coming back to the dugout, right? You're running back from first base, you're telling the hitter what you saw. But to me, it goes way deeper than that in practice. Like, what are those conversations looking like? What does the mental side of the game look like? Are you sharing that information? Are you talking about things that you've been through in your career? How you got through it? What helped you? What didn't? Those are the little pieces that you take with you, and that builds a program. That builds the culture somewhere, not just the success on the field. It's about what goes on behind the scenes and how players are utilizing that information that they're getting. Yeah, you can have all the information in the world. It's like stats, right? You have all these Rapsodo, hit tracks, all of these things, but if you don't know what to do with the numbers, they really don't mean anything.
That's how you use the information. Swing and a miss on a pitch away. Good pitch by Saldana. Strikes out Maddie Sawney. So 2 outs in the inning.
That's a big out there for Saldana. And you talk about a grand slam just getting hit off your team. Now you're in run rule territory. You have to shut this momentum down. Of course, you give up the 1 walk to Talon Edwards. I feel like she's settling in a little bit now.
A&M will get a pinch hitter into the game, Grayson Coleman. Gonna hit for Paisley Allen.
Coleman, one of the seniors on this squad. Catcher by trade, but oftentimes one of the pinch hitters that coaches will go to quite often. Situations, I think for her, it's about proving herself. I think they know she can do it, but until you believe you can do it, and just sell out. Like, you gotta sell out for your approach. She also said she's gotten a lot stronger this year, which was a big point of focus from last year, this year. It's being able to get that extra little oomph to get that ball maybe to the warning track or over the fence. Finding any way that you can to elevate your game, whether that's physical, whether that's mental. Got to find something new every year to bring to up that game, keep up with the competition.
Saldana stayed in the count with her. 3 balls and a strike. Now loses her, so with 2 outs, there's 2 on. There's Frankie Vrajel, Aggie center fielder. Moving over and making the flip to second base, Keely Goucher. That will end the inning. Texas A&M. 3 outs from another victory on opening day. A&M playing long ball again, Tori.
Yeah, and it didn't take long for them to get going. Maya Perez in the first inning. Aggies were able to put up a 3 spot. And then how about Michaela Wark? But none bigger than KK Dement. Grand salami. First one of the year. KK Dement picking right up where she left off last year as well. Her and Maya Perez tied for team high in home runs with 16 last year.
Texas A&M looking to close this one out. Sydney Peters has been brilliant after Sydney Lessentine was earlier today. Tricia Ford maybe making some changes. It does look like they brought in a new catcher in Dee Dee Baldwin. Coming in for Maddie Sowney. Scout Lovell is in right field.
I wish you all at home could see Will with his binoculars right now.
My eyes are much older than yours.
It's just funny that you come prepared with binoculars. He's
And
not
they
new
come
to
in-
this. He's true to this.
They come in handy with defensive position changes.
Right when we need him, he pulls them out.
And those bullpens can be far away when you get someone warming up. Leading off, and Utah State has to make it happen here. Jasmine Ramirez. She was a ground out earlier, her only time to the plate. A&M has Kelsey Mathis in the game in left field, so. Scout Lovell in right, Kelsey Mathis in left, Dee Dee Baldwin behind home plate. Maya Perez now playing first base. And this is to center field. Now shortstop backing up. And 1 down.
We've really got switches everywhere. We've got Paisley Allen at second base. We've got Talon Edwards moving over to third base.
KK Dement's still at short.
Yeah, she's
that's
the
one of
anchor.
them still the same. She made that catch on the pop-up.
As that ball went up, I'm looking around like, oh, yeah, we've got a lot of new faces out there.
Who's where they once were?
Right.
Really, I think it's just Frankie Vrajel in center and KK Dement still in the game in their original spots.
Anchors of the defense.
Yeah, right up the middle.
But I think it gives you a good look at how deep A&M can be in certain positions. I know the outfield is very deep this year. They have a lot of options off the bench. Paisley Allen adds to that position in the infield, the depth there.
Pinch hitter for Utah State, Haley Lopez. And quick work made of her by Sydney Peters. Strikeout number 9 for Sydney Peters.
She's got one last chance to shoot for that double digit.
You know she wants it. You know she's saying, give me 10. Career high. Faith Craning due up, but it's going to be another pinch hitter. It's Haley Holiday.
What a great name.
A true freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona.
That is giving like Wheaties box. Haley Holiday.
Hard cut, came up empty.
Take. It's easy to get caught up in the emotion of the game, knowing that you could be the last out, starting to swing out of your zone, getting outside of yourself.
Fouled away, and Texas A&M a strike away from a couple of run-ruled victories on opening day.
Okay, Bars. It's giving Dr. Seuss. Redfish, bluefish.
I've read enough of that in my time, and that'll do it. Perfect time to close it out right there. Sydney Peters does get that 10th strikeout, and the Texas A&M Aggies, the 11th ranked team in the country, they get 2 run-ruled victories on opening day.
Yeah, career high strikeouts for Sydney Peters. I think you saw some really great showings in the circle from Lessentine in game 1, Peters in game 2, and you really saw the offense explode, especially here in the second game. A couple of multi-run home runs, and then you can't leave out the grand slam by KK DeMent.
Well, we thank you for joining us on opening day from College Station. Our producer all day was Bree Falcone. Our director was Thomas Burns. Chief engineer Johnny Kerr. Thanks to the staff at 12th Man Productions on the A&M campus for bringing you today's action on the SEC Network. It was a great opening day for Texas A&M. They beat ACU, then Utah State, both by Run World.